Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, LeVar Mordred. Smoking my smoking pipe. Having my relaxing, having some beer. Also, I got some very good Christmas gifts recently, so I'm kind of happy. My dad gave me this right here, a thing of tattoo art. It's fantastic. Put this down for a little bit. Of tattoo art. I've been looking through it. Man, it looks really nice. I want to thank my father. I really appreciate you. I love you. It has so much artwork, see? And to me, I like stuff like this. I love tattoos. I'm possessed by tattoos. I love tattoos. Not only that, Deandra, one of my female friends, I got her a Times magazine of Anton LaVey, the founder of Church of Satan. And I know she was very interested in that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know, why not buy it for her and see if she likes it. And especially, it's a very fascinating kind of character. And she gave me this, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo magazine, comic book. That's one thing I like. I like murder mystery fiction like this. And this video is about, instead of this, me putting the intro, is America, is it a Christian nation? Which has been debated from the right and left, and people from the atheist community has been discussing this for the longest time. Yes, back in 1776, our nation, our founding fathers, rebelled against the English for religious freedom. Not the fact that only for religious freedom, they feel like that we should have the freedom to believe what we want to believe in, and not have a church to dictate us, or a queen, or a king to dictate what we should believe, how we should live our life, and what we should do and what own and what not own. We didn't like the guards of the British kings and queens invading our privacy anytime they want to. And that's completely redundant and ridiculous. Begs the question, are we a Christian nation? But we're a nation founded by Christians for freedom of religion, for freedom for everybody else's freedom of expression. And you look at the founding fathers of our country. Some weren't even Christian. Ben Franklin was a pagan who started the Hellfires Club, which he was kind of like the Anton LaVey of the founding fathers. George Washington was Episcopalian Christian. Thomas Jefferson was a scientist and a Gnostic, like I am. I'm not a religious person. I'm a person who is I'm an agnostic. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, being a Gnostic is basically a person who is, that I'm not saying I deny God or there is a God. It could be a mystery. We never know. And they look at more in a way, more of a scientific way of looking at life, that it could be the answer for something, not disproving God, but it could be a God. And, you know, our founding fathers were like multiple types of viewpoints on religion. Some were Catholic, some were Jews, some were atheists, some are different types of ways, but they had Christian principles and lifestyles of a moral compass that they had. I have plenty of friends who are Christian conservatives. I have plenty of friends who are atheists. I have plenty of friends who are all types of religions and beliefs, because I'm a person, I'm open to freedom of expression, freedom of a religion, and freedom of being just human being, and you make your own choices. And that's what our founding fathers believed in. They believe in the First Amendment. They believe in the amendment rights that we were given as freedom of speech, freedom of arms, freedom of privacy. Other countries don't even have that. And it's the sad thing is, there's nothing, a documentation now to protect them against a tyrant government. Two of the most smartest people in the world that I know of, that I have watched on YouTube like a bunch of times, I see as intellectually extremely smart. And like Albert Einstein smart, like way up there. I'm not talking about the Gavin McInnes's or the Paul Joseph Watsons or the Amazing Atheist kind of people. But I've known these kind of people that their brilliance or their intelligence are very, 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 very not appreciated as much. Dennis Prager, he's a Christian conservative. I've listened to him before and watched, Prager videos, and the guy's a very smart, intelligent old man. And to me, the guy's a complete genius. You got somebody else like, Sargon of Akkad, who is a atheist libertarian, and he he is a very smart, intelligent person. And I kind of noticed this. The two of the most smartest and most intelligent kind of people in the world are critical thinkers who are atheists, and Christian conservatives who are filled with wisdom and intelligence and growth in their life, that they have aged in a way that they experience life a lot more compared to more other people. And I know there's some Christian fanatics and nut bars out there like the Josh Philistine. Josh, it's just a Starbucks cup. Get the hell over it. Really? Lose some weight. You're just as bad as these progressives. For people who think that lady who thinks that Monster Energy drinks is Satan. It's just a energy drink. Get over it. Of course, crazy people are going to be crazy people, regardless who they are, what they believe in. And, I used to be a person who was highly against Christianity, and I despised Christianity when I was younger. I was more of a Manson head, and when I got older, I learned that, there's some people, there's good and bad in everything. Instead of just being narrow-minded, I should have been more open-minded towards people and their viewpoints, and agreed to disagree on people. I know what you're going to say in the comments. I know what you're going to say in the comments. That, Josh, what about the Salem witch trials? Well, the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts was before the founding of America. We were a British colony for about 200 some plus years in the Americas. We were under British rule the whole time. Why do you think our founding fathers left England and left England because of their dictatorship? Because they were, when we had a British nation here, we were putting people on stakes and burning them and stoning them to death. Do you realize? Do you think about our founding fathers didn't like that. They didn't support that. They didn't want to have a dictatorship like that under the British Church. And I know you might say there's David Koresh, Jim Jones, the Westboro Baptist Church. Yeah, Westboro Baptist Church is about 12 at the most. I mean, whoop-de-doo, they're a bunch of damn cowards anyway. And at the same time, they're most disrespectful, anti-American people in the world. You talk about, Jim Jones, he's dead. David Koresh, he's dead. But you look all around the world with high terrorist attacks, and terrorist attacks almost every day from the Middle East, from Europe, and from different countries. All of them are Islamic extremism. Wait, correct that right here. Just listen real quickly. Extremism. So there's not very much Christian extremism, or atheist extremism, or Buddhist extremism, or any other religion extremism besides the one religion of the crazy Islamic extremism. And I'm not saying every Muslim's like that. That's completely ignorant, because you look at Malcolm X, you look at Muhammad Ali. They were peaceful, loving people, and they were only violent when they had to be to defend themselves. Without the civil rights movement of MLK and his Christian beliefs, and he was a pastor, he was a man of the God, you wouldn't have the civil rights movement, because he had suicidal tensions. He had issues with depression, and what kept him up every day is that drive inside himself to push forward in life. And you know what? He thanked God every day. He never tried to do something stupid. He had suicidal tendencies. He was basically had a lot of depression issues, and he was a bit suicidal. Without Christianity, you wouldn't have the civil rights movement. Without the principles of Christianity, you wouldn't have freedom of religion. That's a simple fact of it is. Even though I'm a person I have no faith in religion or Christianity, I respect Christianity because of the freedom I have now. Not only that, you look at other countries like the Middle East. You're killed, you're murdered because you are a Christian or a Jew or an atheist. You're killed and murdered out on the streets for being homosexual. Here in the United States, we tolerate that. We have no problem with that. We have a whole community of it, of LGBT plus community of people. I swing both ways, Heck, you look at China with the social credit. Guess what they do to people who are religious or believe in a higher power? They throw them in concentration camps. I might be a bit of an Islamophobic person, I mean, hey, but I don't see as every Muslim like that. And it's wrong to see these people and these reports of these Muslims getting thrown in prison for what they believe in by the Chinese government. Not only that, Christians, Jews, pagans, and people who are spiritual are thrown in concentration camps with them. The Chinese government is a dictatorship. You go to Europe, they're having these open border policies, and there's been terrorist attacks left and right happening. It's a sad day in this world, in our time and age, to realize the Chinese government that makes our products is throwing people in concentration camps for what they believe in. It's sad. And I'm a person, even if I agree or disagree with your religious viewpoint, you should have the freedom to say what you want, to believe what you want, because this is a nation full of freedom, because our founding fathers fought and died for everybody's beliefs. As long as you're not hurting anybody else and have freedom and believe what you want to believe in, that's fine. You really think about it, our founding fathers were semi-anarchist. They didn't want the government. They don't want big government. They don't want kings and queens. They don't want this hierarchy of Massachusetts of complete hypocrisy of ignorance. These people who run our offices, run the country, they're paid by major corporations for their biddings. And I'm taking all my frustrations out here, but you know what? Our country, our America, was founded by the principle that we should be free in a free land, in a free society. Yes, some of our founding fathers were a bit hypocrites. Same thing with people now. I'm very open-minded towards other people's religions and stuff like that. I don't look at a person's viewpoints and see them that's all about them. I talk about other subjects as well. I mean, look at Deanna. She's an Anton LaVey follower. Me, personally, I'm agnostic. My friend Jake, he's a Christian conservative. Joel's a Christian conservative. Jinx, who helps me run the Info Hell site, who does videos himself. Jinx is an atheist. People with their viewpoints that I appreciate, because I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven right. It's having an intellectual conversation. It amazes me. My dad is a Orthodox Jew. And you know what? Diversity is a good thing. And you look at the our early America, when we rebelled against the English dictatorship. You had different people with different religions, paganism. You had Christians, you had Jews, you had Catholics, you had Mormons, you had Episcopalians. You had a wide range of Wiccans and different age religions. I mean, you look at New Orleans. That's a prime example of paganism and different types of religions. It was more Americana than going to another piece of land and believe what you want to believe in. You know what I'm saying? With your brothers and sisters, and for what you see. I mean, there were some people who are an atheist. There's people who were agnostic, like I am as well. So our nation was full of people with different thoughts. Yes, be honest with you, the United States was mostly Christian. About 90% of Christian. But also they allowed other freedom of thoughts as well. And they all had one thing in common. They wanted a nation full of freedom and the government not in their business. They wanted a separation between church and state. Of course, I'm very open-minded towards other people's religions and stuff like that. I don't look at a person's viewpoints and see them that's all about them. I talk about other subjects as well. I mean, look at Deanna. She's an Anton LaVey follower. Me, personally, I'm agnostic. My friend Jake, he's a Christian conservative. Joel's a Christian conservative. Jinx, who helps me run the Info Hell site, who does videos himself. Jinx is an atheist. People with their viewpoints that I appreciate, because I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven right. It's having an intellectual conversation. It amazes me. My dad is a Orthodox Jew. And you know what? diversity is a good thing. But I'll talk to you guys later. Merry Christmas. And, instead of saying God bless America, I'll say God bless America. Because you know what? Without this nation, we wouldn't have the freedom that we have now. The freedom what we believe in, say what we want, have any kind of guns. And you know what? Hopefully in the future we can, cross our fingers, legalize marijuana everywhere, right? See you guys later. Bye. And before I go, let's just show you something. I love decorating my Christmas tree. Especially when you put a skull right in the middle of it.